let's see. See a little bit of update on HAPS web browser function. Let's see. Sample image upload. Okay. I see three eyes. So three eyes are looking at this. Anyone home? Knock, knock. Hey, Gilo. Hey, Lena. How's it going? Hey, Jay. So, how's Chiang Mai? I'm glad you asked. It's been a while since I've done these whole chat stuff. 你好吗? Joy! Hi, Joy! Yeah, I'm glad to be able to sit down and have a chat after it has been how many weeks? I can't remember. I have done live streams when I was traveling to another province. You love all the colors I chose. You mean my outfit or my place? Hey, Melbourne Day. How's it going? I'm glad there's still people watching my stream. Ah, man. I don't know about you guys, but I still have my Periscope app in my phone. I have not deleted it yet. Where are we broadcasting from today? Well, this is my humble co-working space. Oh, my co-working space. Yeah, you still have the app too. Yeah, don't delete it. I won't. I won't. Yeah, we're all like finger crossing. A miracle will happen one day, and Kayvon and Jack, suddenly has so much money. They're like, let's revive Periscope. That's not going to happen, most likely. A fellow Hong Kong person is in Hong Kong doing lockdown. Are you talking about Penguin? Right. So, I have so much I want to talk about what has happened in Hong Kong and what has happened in Thailand. I hope you guys are doing fine. I see many people from USA and Melbourne Day. You're from Australia, I presume. Hey, David. Some still broadcast on it. I am. In fact, I'm still streaming to Periscope, and if you have the app, you can probably watch me from there. Although there is latency, so that's. If you're watching it from HAPS, my face is still there. See, travel the world. Twitter is so lazy; they haven't even bothered to kill like the signals or anything. I'm under travel the world. There's one person watching me on Periscope. How cute is that? I should have done some hashtags. But there's people still streaming. Twitter doesn't care. They're like, yeah, just let it hang there. Anyway, I miss you guys, and I have not forgotten about live stream. Clubhouse is not a phase, although I have not been as active doing my Clubhouse rooms. And the reason for it is, I guess, the Hong Kong community was the people that I was focusing more on creating content for. So I have been, like, since the beginning of Clubhouse, when I downloaded it, January, definitely faceless. Yeah, I'm friends with one of their developers. Yeah, they don't care. Right. Crazy people. Funny how Clubhouse takes more time than a video live streaming app. I enjoy moderating the rooms that I have been doing. The conversations inside the room feels very different from how I'm using these live streaming apps because there needs to be some sort of coordination, right? The coordination among the moderators, if you have one if you have more than one in the room. Hey, Crawford, how's it going? Now you have two viewers on Periscope. Woohoo! Hey, David. been good to be able to out your phone down and not feeling obligated to stay close. It's different. It feels different. I like being able to listen in rooms or just be momentarily off it so I can take care of my kids or I can cook or I can just take a dump or anything, right? So it's less demanding than this. Basically, I'm totally consumed when I'm live streaming. My kids are adorable. Thank you, Joy. Hey, thanks for that word. High five. Uh, so there is a little bit more flexibility, but it's still very consuming, time consuming, attention consuming because it's live, right? So any piece of live content requires me to be in the moment, to be present. Family duty is much more important. Yes, and you have a lot of kids, Gilo, so you would understand that as well. I have two kids, and life has really, really changed since the second one popped out from the mother's womb. Oh, another high five award. Oh, no, that's the same one. Sorry. Man, I'm getting rusty at this. But anyway, am I still in Thailand with that delicious food? I am still in Thailand. I have been staying put since January of 2020. I have not been able to travel outside of the country because of the restrictions, and all the places that I want to go pretty much have some sort of quarantine requirements or restrictions, right? Even if I want to go to USA, which I can, and there's no quarantine restrictions right now, woohoo, USA. But when I come back, if I were to go and come back, then I really need to I need to be quarantined here. Give me a second. My wife. I'm back. Wait. Hey, when I say, can you hear me? When I say hustle, like, like we're hustle, I mean, like working really hard, hustle. Is it HUSSLE or HUSTLE? Wonder if it has a coffee bar. The funny thing is, when things open up, it's going to be mayhem. I wish. Side hustle. HUSTLE. TLE. Okay. Thank you. I know my spelling is not great. Wonder if it has a coffee bar. You mean my place? Yes, it has a coffee bar. If you want to check out my co-working, co-living space content, I have an Instagram account, right? And so the Instagram account is actually Alt Chiang Mai, and you can see all the stories that we're creating under the account. And we're not awesome, but I think we're pretty decent at our jobs. So this is Instagram, Alt Chiang Mai. Please follow the account, show some love, and we do try to show people what's happening in the space, even though it's quite quiet right now. Yeah. So we were talking about how I have been staying put in Thailand for the past year. Now the song is playing in my head. Dude, hustle. Wait, I don't know that song. Yeah. So please follow. If you haven't followed my Instagram, you can also follow my Instagram, which is John M Ho. That's more of my private life. Uh, but yeah, like if you want to follow the co-living, co-working space, it's alt underscore Chiang Mai. Before we jump into my business and this stuff, I do want to talk about Hong Kong because you guys probably know me back from the days then when I started Periscope, when I was talking about life in Asia, life in Hong Kong, life of this guy moving around the area, the region, the world, and all that. Something very, very sad happened a couple of weeks ago. I wish I could have talked about it earlier, but I was so busy. Which is the shutdown of a major newspaper corporation. It's called Apple Daily, and it's been around for many, many years, as long as I remember, at least 20, I think. That in Hong Kong history, it's pretty long. And they were shut down because the government has arrested the top executives based on the new national security law, and they have frozen all their assets and their money in the bank accounts. So they basically was squeezed to death without actually proven guilty of any crimes. And so P6 is in Hong Kong right now. Yes. It's not related to the brick brand. I can talk about the brand. I think it's okay. I don't think I would be in risk if I talk about the incident. The world is unfortunately trending towards totalitarianism. Well, to be honest, I am not surprised that this happened. Apple Daily is also a very controversial newspaper because they have been accused of collusion with foreign powers and all that kind of stuff. Nobody can prove whether it is true or not. But one thing I do notice when reading articles from Apple Daily is that they like to sensationalize a lot of things. News reporters do what news reporters do, right? You have Fox News in the States, and so we have Apple Daily, and obviously Fox News is not going to be killed by the government, even though they also have sensational broadcasters saying, in my point of view, crazy stuff, right? Hey, Red and More. Apple Daily is more left leaning, definitely. I wouldn't say they're innocent of any misconduct of journalism. Let's put it that way, okay? But to kill a newspaper corporation like this, for me, it's barbaric. It's backwards, and it shows there's no mercy for any groups of people who speak against your stance or your position. You're in the path of Hurricane Elsa. Careful there. Hey, Kevin. So I, for one, am not a big supporter of what kind of content Apple Daily publishes on a regular basis. But to kill them like this, to just kill them off based on the national security law, I think it's uncalled for. I think it's not progress. And I tweeted this out. And I think it's very sad. It's very sad for journalism. I think it's very sad for Hong Kong. And it's very sad for the ideas of freedom of speech. And obviously we can argue that. And I don't feel like debating with anyone. This is just my opinions. You can agree or you can disagree. You can hate Apple Daily for what they put out, but that doesn't mean you have the right to kill them off, right? Because in a society, in a civilized society, you should be able to listen to multiple point of views. You should be able to have these discussions. You can penalize if people are breaking the rules or trying to bend the rules too much, right? You can penalize them. You can make them not repeat the same mistakes. But to kill them off like this, for me, it's just total barbaric action. And this is from the government, right? This is from the Chinese government. And so they wrap it in a way so they can say, oh, they are against the national security law. They're endangering the stability of the nation. They're like saying misinformation and all of that. Still, I don't think they it was a right thing, but the consequences, right? The consequences. Are there any journalism agency worth viewing now? I think, Dean. I mean, when any kind of information you see on the news, right, or from anyone is worth thinking with a grain of salt. But if there is no journalism agency, let's put it that way, is the world better off if all the news media agencies are killed off? Or should we allow media agencies to do whatever they want to do? Right? So I think we're better off. I think we're better off to have. I mean, if it's two extremes, right, which is not ideal in either case, I still want to have media agencies around. I mean, I try to have my own way of looking at the news and trying to analyze it myself. You know, nobody says you should just read the news as is and just assume it's true. It's with anyone else. But I do believe there are people who have ethics, and they will try to do the right thing. I think many journalists still have that working ethics. Um, it seems more corrupted now than before. New Zealand news media has been anti-Chinese recently. Uh, well, I mean, is it anti-Chinese or like should? So this is the thing about news, though, right? You look at it, and it's most of the time criticism of anything happening, right? Um, News is not the function of praising anyone. If you want to report on a piece of news, there should be something worth learning from. But praising doesn't really do much. And when they criticize a certain government body or a certain incident, then they're anti. Does it mean they're anti-Chinese? I don't know, right? But if nobody criticizes anything, then we don't know what the problem is, right? The problem is not everyone does that. Sure, but some people are doing it, right, Christopher? I'm also Asian, half Japanese. Hey, Maze, how's it going? So anyway, I don't want to drill in too much about these journalistic ideologies because I'm not a journalist. I'm not trained as one. I hope Mike tends to travel is here, so he can probably explain to you better than me in these things. But what I want to say is how many people in Hong Kong are so saddened by this incident, right? This is like the last blow of um, freedom of speech, the last blow of democratic ideas in Hong Kong, right? And so a lot of us Hong Kong people are, in fact, very, very, very unhappy about this whole incident to a point. More people are leaving. And I'm telling you, when I say more, we're talking about potentially 10% of the population will leave in the next couple of years. So we have 7 million people in Hong Kong. That's 700,000 at least. And I know people personally that has left or have planned to leave within this year. This is, their reaction to what has happened in Hong Kong over the past few years. And so it's truly depressing. We don't have a home, and it's more like the whole place is just assimilated to mainland China because this is the wish of the communist government, right, of China. Most of them are BNO passport holders. A lot of them who are leaving Hong Kong right now, they do want to have a UK citizenship. So if they are eligible for a BNO passport, or if they are BNO passport holders, by the way, BNO stands for British National Overseas. They are moving to UK to try getting a citizenship. A lot of people also have dual citizenship before the incident, so they might have obtained a passport somehow in USA and Canada and Australia and New Zealand, right? And so a lot of these friends of mine, they also have moved back to these countries that they hold citizenship to. What do you think? You will stop going back and forth to Hong Kong? Do you think I'll stop going back and forth to Hong Kong? You mean after the pandemic, right? Well, I have my family. A big chunk of my family is in Hong Kong. My sister is in Hong Kong. My brothers are in Hong Kong. My sisters are in Hong Kong. My brothers are in Hong Kong. My parents are in Hong Kong. So I would love to meet them once in a while when I can. I'm not a political activist, so I'm not too fearful of my actions when I'm in Hong Kong. I'm not going to say, fuck you, China, in the streets. Although it's quite weird to walk on the streets that I used to stream. Remember the Victoria Park, remember Causeway Bay, Tin Hau, Wan Chai, these areas. Now, police force is just patrolling these areas like it's a terrorist zone or something, right? So you're going to walk through this place and you see police just standing all over their place, making sure everyone is in order. And if not, then they will come at you and arrest you for whatever reason, right? And all they have to do is say you are threatening Hong Kong based on the national security law, because it's a very vague law, right? So they can do that, whatever you do, in theory. And but I don't think I would be an easy target for them, even though I'm saying these things. Hong Kong is generally safer than UK. Um, in what sense, though? Like if I am a British citizen and if I want to express my dissatisfaction towards the government, um, I don't think Hong Kong is safer. But if you talk about crimes, other crimes, perhaps Hong Kong crime rate is safer than most places in California, most places in central London, I suppose. Um, but the notion of safety is also something that people argue about. I mean, if you have safety but you don't have freedom, then what is safety good for? You know, like yeah. This is what the people in power will always sell to you. We want to provide you safety. That's why we're imposing all these laws to make sure you're safe, right? We want to keep you safe. It's like a parent saying, you can't go out, you can't meet any friends, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't use the internet, you shouldn't play games because it's for your safety, you know? So when the parents tell the kids this is for their safety, sure, in their mind, You can't say they're wrong, but to what extent, right? Safety from criminals, not from the government. Yeah. So the notion of having the safety is weird, right? Because uh, if there are crimes in LA, but I have the freedom of engaging in these conversations and not worrying the FBI would knock on my door and just take me because I've said something to offend the government, right? Intent is a bit different. Yeah. So people have this fear, and I think it's a little bit of an overreaction for most people in Hong Kong, because before the whole movement, most Hong Kong people are not even political to begin with. So for a lot of people who tell me they're fearing their lives because of what's happening, I think most of the cases it's just um, fear imposing on themselves. You know, hey JC, hey JC man, how's it going? And so I'm not afraid of going back to Hong Kong, but I don't think I like to live in Hong Kong. You know, so I think I will go back. I enjoy eating at nice restaurants. I enjoy the convenience of moving around. Thank you. This is my space. This is my co-working space. But yeah, Hong Kong is very different. People are not happy. Most people I know of are not happy. Most people I know of are constantly discussing where to leave, when to leave. The economy is not doing particularly well at the same time, so people's livelihood is also a concern. So it's just been very, very negative. I don't know what Penguin has been streaming in Hong Kong. He stays away from making political statements. He's very smart in that sense. I do wonder, like, if I can talk with Penguin Six personally, I would like to ask him what is the general vibe when he is walking on the streets of Hong Kong, as opposed to before this whole movement began, before he left to Washington D.C. I'm curious to ask him what is his thoughts on it. Are you filling up with digital nomads? Well, nobody can come in right now without being quarantined. So, Dean, as much as I would love to have remote workers, digital nomads checking into my space, I don't think that will happen anytime soon until hopefully September, October. Yeah. So, I mean, Thailand has a new surge in terms of cases of COVID. The death toll is around 50 cases per day related to COVID. People die. People die. The traffic death of Thailand is averaging around 30 to 40 per day. So it has surpassed the number of traffic accident death when it comes to COVID related fatality. Has anyone who had been against the protest changed their minds? Changed their minds how? Hong Kong SAR, FDI, foreign direct investment have tripled, beating the United States. Direct investment triple, beating the United States. Meaning what though, Kevin? Yeah, until COVID improves, Delta variant is the villain. Hey, Akira, how's it going? So people talk about the Delta variant and also the vaccine. I want to skip these discussions because it's I listen to it all the time. I talk to friends all the time. I think it has been discussed so much to a point that I don't think I can add value to the conversation. So let's just say what we know is what we know. Lambda. Yeah, I mean, essentially, I think what Singapore is doing right now is probably a more sensible approach. Just to admit that this COVID thing is going to be with us for a long time. The chase of zero cases um, is more like uh, you know it's like oh okay we want to eradicate flu. It's at this point it's like okay we need to eradicate a flu, for whatever it takes. I don't think that's a feasible idea, right? So Singapore has changed their policy and has began resuming activities. Not to say that they're not cautious about an outbreak again, but you can't keep shutting down the city, the country. I read the news on a daily basis. Some guy um, decided to end their lives because they couldn't pay bills, they couldn't support their family, they're depressed, etc., etc. Right? And so we have to understand life has to go on. Otherwise, there are also negative consequences if we have policies that are too strict, and that is something I fear. I think I do say this many times when I do talk about this topic, but I am very concerned about my friends who are suffering not from the virus but from the consequences of policies imposed by governments. Yeah. Some say it may resist the vaccine. I hope these variants don't increase so much. My friend gets listed the TKE variant. Man, I can't even follow all this news. I mean, but think about it this way, right? There's no stopping China. Nobody will step in cause they have money relationship with everyone. That's also true. There's pros and cons for both options. Hey Brett, how's it going? So my way of living life is I will control the information to receive or to consume if it's related to the pandemic, because I need to maintain a level of sanity just to move on and get things done in my life. Taking care of my family, making money, being with my kids, maintaining a good relationship with my friends, including you guys, and try to be constructive, try to be productive, right? So I do keep track of the news of what's happening, but that's it. And then I move on to do other things, right? I do exercise. I go out and eat with my friends. The restaurants are open now. I come to work. I do not lock myself at home. I meet with my friends because I think I need to have a healthy um, mental state by exchanging ideas with my friends, by doing this. So I can't be overly concerned about getting sick because I can get sick in other in other ways anyway. So like opening a business in Thailand is I won't say too stressful, but it's definitely a challenge. I mean, I'm used to doing business by myself online, and now I'm involving a physical space. I have actual staff. We spend a lot of money in investing and designing and promoting and building and all of this, right? Of the news, but don't saturate yourself in it. Words of wisdom, Brett. And so it's finally begun. It's not 100% operational yet because we cannot take in customers with the co-living space. It wouldn't be sensible to operate because we won't make enough revenue to cover the expenses anyway. So right now, it's the co-working space that's open. It's the coffee shop that's open. By the way, we have great coffee. I know I sound biased, but you know how I am. I try to stay true. So this is as good as any top tier coffee shop in Chiang Mai. And coffee in Chiang Mai has super high standards. So if you come to Chiang Mai and if you don't intend to stay at my co-living space because it's not your cup of tea, at least get a cup of coffee. No pun intended. My therapist told me the same advice. News was overwhelming me. Yes, yes. Stop watching it every single day. It doesn't help you much. You can stay informed, but to a certain extent. Trado is bomb. John's recommend. But he says it's good. It's good. Yeah. So I mean, I can't wait to have the country opening up so I can do shitloads of content. I can rave about Chiang Mai, not only my co-living, co-working space, but the coffee shops here. Like, I mean, I'm sure you can find decent ones in California and in USA, but to have such a concentration of decent coffee shops in one city is a rarity, right? And I think if one day I have to leave Chiang Mai and live in another country or a town, the biggest thing that I will miss is the coffee here. Like, it's just out of the world, Does your coffee shop have different name? Yes, it is named Native. And the Instagram, we also have an Instagram for Native, which is Native Chiang Mai. So you can also follow the page, native.chiangmai. I'll type it out if you want to follow their Instagram. And we do make more than just coffee. So the cold pressed juice is also very yummy. I became so sensitive to caffeine, but I coffee. I love coffee. Hey Chris, how's it going? So yeah, like I'm thinking of ways to promote the coffee scene in Chiang Mai, right? I mean, this is one thing that I really want the world to know. I mean, it's underrated because Thais, culturally speaking, are not braggy people. They're very modest. If they do something good, they know about it, and they just, they just keep it that way. It's very contrary to American behavior, right? And so I feel like the reason why the world hasn't found out how great Chiang Mai coffee is because people here don't even care if they are world known about it, and so I feel like there is potential here that I don't know how, but I will figure out in conjunction to the space to just promote the shit out of the coffee scene in Chiang Mai. I want all the coffee lovers of all over the world to come here and spend a week or two, ideally at my space, but just, appreciating coffee all over town. Like it's you will never be bored, and you will just be like, oh, how come I didn't know about this city? Like, oh my God, you think Paris is good, or you think Italy is good, or you think San Diego is good, or Australia is good for their coffee? No. Chiang Mai has the best coffee shops. I stand by my word. You need to host a fan event for a Thai celebrity or K-pop idol. Josh, yes, but moreover, I need people from overseas that are also celebrities come in Chiang Mai and rave about the coffee here. Like, I don't know, find who's a coffee lover in America that's well known? There are more tea drinkers. No, tea drinkers, maybe the older generation, but the younger generation, mostly coffee drinkers. Best coffee I've tasted was in Chiang Mai. Boom! See? I've converted Lena. I make the best coffee according to me. I will try to change your mind, Brett. And I have an espresso machine. Well, I think one of the reasons why we have great coffee is because we grow coffee in the region. So we have very fresh coffee beans, right? When we have fresh coffee beans, the freshness is something you can definitely taste. Like, I'm sorry, but I hate, I despise people holding a cup of Starbucks coffee and telling me this is a great way to start the day. I'm sorry, Mike, if you're watching this. Starbucks coffee is not good coffee. Okay? It's like saying McDonald's cheeseburger is the best burger in the world. Okay? Like, you can't do that. You just can't. Okay? Don't give me Starbucks coffee and saying this is amazing. No. No. Hey, Mr. Wonderful. Have you tried Shanghai coffee scene? It's more leading innovative than Paris and New York. I haven't, but I don't mind going to Shanghai and try it. I'm sure they have decent coffee places, but we're talking about on average, like if you were to randomly walk into a coffee shop in Shanghai and Paris and Italy and LA and Chiang Mai, I bet the chances of having a decent cup of coffee is way higher here than in any other cities in the world. You need David Lynch from Twin Peaks. Okay. I don't know. I'll try tweeting them. I love Irish coffee. Starbucks is super roasted, too burnt. I think it's the way to keep the coffee beans usable. I used to work in Starbucks and need a job. I'm coming to Chiang Mai. New Zealand Uncle Burger is the #1 burgers house. Okay, #1 in New Zealand, I think. I don't know. We don't have great burgers here. I went to a vegan burger place. Oh, this is fun. Check out. Oh, I think my Instagram stories are gone. I should have kept it, but I have made some Instagram stories about this vegan burger joint, opened by a fellow Dutch person. And so I know him in a co-working place, and he tells me he's going to open a vegan burger joint. And I was like, okay, that's cool, but I'm not a vegan. I don't like vegan food. But I get his idea because it's a trend. He's making the place Instagrammable. The burgers look nice and all that. So I went and I tried the burger, and I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't expect a vegan burger to taste edible. No, I'm just kidding. It's better than edible. It's better than edible. It's very pretty. It's they use colors. So you have black chocolate bun, you have a pink bun, and they use Beyond Meat as the burger patty. So you're eating it, and it tastes like a burger to a certain extent, but it's not a real burger, right? So the verdict was I liked it, and if I have to have a vegan meal, I wouldn't mind going back again. But I cannot say it's better than a real burger because it's not. It's just not, right? So I think I was fair with my review on the burger itself, but the place is nice. I think their business will be successful because there is a lot of people who are following this trend of veganism, right? Is it healthy? I don't know. I think my diet personally is better than just sticking with vegan ingredients. But yeah, veganism is a very strange thing. I would totally go on a coffee crawl in Chiang Mai. I just need somewhat to come off the caffeine high at night. That's the thing. I'm tested. I did a gene test, and apparently my genes are pretty good at metabolizing caffeine. But I know some people, they're very sensitive to it. What are Beyond Burgers made with? Tofu? It's just soy and a bunch of weird stuff. The world's best potato for fries is from New Zealand. Pukekoho? Pukekoho. That sounds a very strange name. Pukekoho. Best potato for fries. Best potato for fries. Why is this Pukekoho potato so good for fries? Kevin, do you care to explain? But anyway, so coffee is great. We have hip joints, hip vegan joints. There's this amazing co-living, co-working space. If you haven't checked out the space, you should check out the Instagram page, Alt Chiang Mai. But I think there's so much interesting stuff happening in Thailand and Chiang Mai specifically. If you were to make your next trip, consider Thailand. and a bunch of weird stuff. I mean, go into the website and look into the they have to list all the ingredients, right? And a lot of them is just like a bunch of chemical compounds that I'm not familiar with. It's farming region in Auckland. So is it the soil? Is it the temperature? Is it the breed itself? I don't know. Like I'm not super into carbs these days because I have to lose a bunch of weight. But I do enjoy fries. I have to say, I want to go sightseeing next time. Lena, you know you're gonna be treated well when you come to Chiang Mai again, right? People are skeptical when I start raving how amazing Chiang Mai is, and by day 3, they regret that they only decided to stay in Chiang Mai for a few days instead of at least giving it a week to enjoy the space. Uh, I don't want to say Phuket, Samui, the beach fronts, they're not as good. Um, it's different, right? It's different. But I've personally seen nicer beach and clearer waters than the ones in Thailand. But Chiang Mai is a total different scene, and if you haven't experienced it, it's just not the same, right? And I mean, if you do travel to Chiang Mai, you want to give yourself at least a whole week, and being able to also go a little further out, like go to a elephant camp. I was camping with elephants 2 weeks ago with my kid. I don't know if you've seen my Instagram stories, but there are campsites that you can just put on a tent, and the elephant is less than like 20 yards away from you. That's how close we were with the elephants, sleeping overnight at the same area. I made a stream about it. You can go and watch it, right? That's how cool Chiang Mai is. Can't wait to go to Chiang Mai. I've only been to Bangkok, and I'm so looking forward to it. Yeah, like Bangkok is fine. Like if you enjoy like a vibrant city, sure, go to Bangkok. But I would say Hong Kong, Tokyo, Singapore, these places are even better than Bangkok. Unless you're into the kinky sex scene, right? Then Bangkok has a lot to offer. I was there for 3 days and it was not enough. The soil, the volcano mineral content. That could be the secret of the potatoes of New Zealand. But there's so much to offer here. Like, man, I know a friend, and I want to do an interview with him. He's going to Mexico, a place called Oaxaca. I think that's the name of it. I forgot how to spell it because it has a couple X's. But basically, they're doing a local trip, um, immersion trip to discover the world of mushrooms, edible mushrooms in the forest, and culinary in Oaxaca. And so this guy, I came to know him, and he's still in Chiang Mai right now. But when he's done with the Mexico tour, he's going to come back to Chiang Mai next year, and he's going to promote his tours again. And he wants to bring people from America, his clients and people who are into the mushroom scene, to experience something similar in northern Thailand. And so I very much look forward to actually do something with him when he's back in a year's time. It takes about 4 pounds of potato to make a pound of chips. Just read it. Fun fact of the day. 4 pounds of potatoes for 1 pound of chips. That's a lot of potatoes. No wonder they sell it for that kind of price. And it takes only 1 minute to eat, maybe a few minutes to eat a pound of chips. Actually, a pound of chips is quite a bit. Okay, I'll give it 15 minutes. Imagine how much time you need to grow 4 pounds of potatoes, and you just consume it in 15 minutes. Yeah. anyway, so yeah, like it's very quiet here in Chiang Mai. I'm happy that I can have a conversation with you all, even though this is more me talking and you guys commenting, but I still enjoy this. Clubhouse is not some platform that I will do a lot of English rooms, although I do have one with JL from Switzerland every Friday night. That's Friday morning, USA time. 1 pound of chips is like 2 party bags. Oh, that's a lot. Never mind. that's more potato chips than I expected. But I mean, as an entrepreneur, I have to be optimistic, right? And I do think Thailand will be back on its feet when things are opening up. So please pray for us if you believe a high power up there, or wish us good luck. Not factual. Okay. But yeah, like, I mean, I think right now America is pretty okay, even though people have been shitting on them over the pandemic. Back on just 1 foot. I know, 1 feet. Back on their feet. Sorry. I don't know about Europe, but I do want Europe to open up so I can visit my friend, JL Switzerland. He's on the list of people to visit. And I'm really itching. Like, my travel bug inside me has been itching for a long time. So when I do get to travel, I promise you that I will be doing way more live streams than what I have done over the past year or so. I think HAPS, I don't know what you guys think, but I think HAPS has improved quite a bit since the beginning, right? So I think right now the latency, if you were to be using HAPS, is super low. The broadcast resolution is quite good, and I've been using the mobile app and the web browser platform. It's 8 seconds or less. No, I think it's less than 8 seconds. HAPS app has improved so much, right? So I think, I mean, kudos to the team of HAPS. I don't know if anyone is watching it, but I mean, I'm still using StreamYard for some of the live streams that I do in Cantonese. But I look forward to the day when I can truly say I'm only going to use HAPS to multi-stream, right? Right now, it's still not perfect. And, some people are still like complaining a lot of things about it. I know there needs to be more improvement, but I think it has been better. I mean, the screen itself is less clunky, right? I still see on the top left, there's that icon, and there's the CTA banner to follow me and all that. But at least it's not crashing. That's a low bar. I think I need to catch up on the game of live streaming, and hopefully I can do more content. I mean, whole interviews. Wow, I can't remember the last time I did a proper whole interview. And I said I would do it with a bunch of periscopers, and I didn't do it. It's my fault. I mean, I just overestimated myself. But yeah, I mean, I hope you guys are happy with the platform. I really hope you guys can stay here and turn on your notifications, so when I go live, you guys will know, right? But please also do follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, so at least you know what's happening when I'm broadcasting. By the way, I have this buy me a coffee thing that I do want to share you the link, because I think it's just more effective than Patreon. So I'm just going to share you guys my link. And if you do want to support, you can of course give me the tokens in the gifts, the virtual gifts in HAPS. But consider clicking onto the link of Buy Me a Coffee, not Ko-fi. That's another thing. I decided to use buymeacoffee.com. but that's the link. And if you want to donate, and get me a coffee, because I do drink a lot every day, you can pick an option to do it. Hey, Heavenly Dew, how's it going? So, by the way, I think I'm streaming on YouTube as well, even though I haven't done anything about the account. Yeah, I need to do something about it. But yeah, so how long have I been streaming? Over an hour. Wow, like time flies. Um, I enjoy this. And I'm happy that you guys are still around. So let's stay in touch. Let's keep in touch. I'll keep you posted. I have been doing more Instagram stories, but I'm thinking of how to use Twitter in a new way. But generally, I just enjoy doing live streams more. So yeah, you know. Um, Thank you. See you around, and I'll give you more of what I'm doing in Thailand in the future. Okay. All right. Take care. Bye. Love you all.